Want to welcome live on the program this morning. This is Todd Bridges. Good morning. How are you on this radio tour?
How are you this morning?
Well, I'm doing good. You've got a book out that is kind of letting loose a lot of what you've gone through for the, what have been almost 25, 30 years?
Yeah, I'm 17 years sober, but people act like I'm still getting loaded,
It's got to be tough. Do people tend to want to hang that label on you that, you're a drug addict, that you've got all these problems? Would they rather deal with that because we kind of feed off that kind of stuff, or would they rather look at you, hey, you're clean now, you've been clean for 17 years, and life is actually going pretty good for you?
Yeah, but they want to hang me on, they want to stick me,
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that they want to, pigeonhole me and keep me in that same thing, but something about it is that that's what they need to do to make themselves feel better. Go right ahead. The bottom line is I'm 17 years sober and I've got my life together. And it's unfortunate that they want to, do that, but you have to move past that, and I've learned to not to care what they think anymore, and I just keep doing what I'm doing.
Let's jump in our hot tub time machine, go back here to the early 70s and such, and that was about the time that you were landing some roles. You were in Roots and quite a few other things before you got into different strokes. When did the acting career actually start for you?
In 1973, I think. I was able to really do a lot of shows that a lot of people weren't able to do. And I'm happy that I was able to do those shows because it really make a difference, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that I made a difference, man. I really made a change in television history. I was one of the first black kids to do all the shows that I did. And to be able to do that is just a true pleasure, and I'm glad that I had that opportunity to do that.
Well, you finally got onto the show that was your biggest in your career, Different Strokes, and things were going pretty good for a while there. But after a while, things kind of started to fall apart behind the scenes between you and Gary Coleman. And tell us what was going on.
I think that for that, Gary Coleman's father came in and changed a lot of stuff, and he made Gary not like himself. And that's the unfortunate part, to make your own son not like who he is, and that's why he's where he's at today. And I hope that he some way finds himself. But back then, as a child, you believe what your parents tell you, and unfortunately, he believed the hype.
You did end up for a while after, and was it after the show that you ended up with a drug problem, or was it during the tail end of the show?
Yeah, it was definitely after the show. It had nothing to do with doing the show. While I was working, I didn't do anything wrong, I think that everything caught up with me as a child, and when you're a kid and you're going through all this stuff, you really don't realize what you have to deal with until you get older, you know what I mean? And unfortunately, a lot of people don't make it out of that mess.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I've taken responsibility for my actions, The bottom line is, I'm not happy with what I've done, but at the same time, I can't blame anybody. And even though what happened to me, I can't blame that. I got to accept responsibility for making all those horrible mistakes, and so that I can move forward.
Well, you've got all this spelled out in the book called Killing Willis, From Different Strokes to the Mean Streets to the Life I Always Wanted. What was the lowest point in your life that you remember and that maybe you've talked about in this book? What would you say was the lowest part that you ever sang to?
I think the lowest part for me was when I was in rehab and I got angry at everybody and they put me in a diaper. And that was not cool, You're in a diaper, you're 26 to 27 years old. That's kind of weird,
Yeah. So at that was that the turning point, or can you look back and go, this is when I finally decided this is BS. I'm going to take charge of my life and get on the right track. Do you have a point that you can look at?
That was the point.
That was it, huh?
That's for sure. Oh yeah, that was the point when I realized that something had to change. And I was able to make a change at that point to really sit down with myself and make myself realize that there's a much better route, and it wasn't the one that I was taking.
Now, we've seen so many of your co-stars and fellow actors and actresses, that have tumbled, from the limelight, and after the shows were over and such, they have fallen into the same path and not been able to get out of it, and unfortunately resulting in deaths and more. Do you think today's stars are up against the same problems and challenges, or do you think we're more aware of that? And is there anybody kind of helping them to guide them out of, of that path?
Well, I think we're more aware of it nowadays, too, but I also believe that the kids nowadays make lifetime money, you know what I mean? They don't make money just to survive. They make lifetime money, man. They do a TV show and they make great money, then they turn around and do movies, they make $2 or $3 million a movie. They're making lifetime money, which, back when I started, you weren't able, either you did TV or you did movies. You weren't able to do both.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's fortunate that, today's kids can do everything, anything that they want. And they got all these stations, and they usually have shows all over the place, and they get to really fill their bank accounts up and really plan for their future. But also, you have people who are more aware of what went wrong and where things are going so that they can really take care of one another. And I'm glad that, that my life is where it's at today. Otherwise, I wouldn't know what to do.
Well, let's real quick, because I know you've got to move along. Talk about where you're at today. You were an actor for so long. What are you doing these days, Todd?
Right now, I'm doing World's Dumbest Criminals on True TV. And, I'm also was on Everybody Hates Chris before it got canceled. And right now we're in negotiation for me to do my own TV show. And I think that it's great to be able to do that.
And what kind of show do you want to do?
I want to do a show, situational comedy. I want to get out there and make people laugh, man. Make people forget about what they're going through and make them be able to move, have fun in their life, So that's right now what we're negotiating the situational comedy, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and people are going to be able to really laugh off it.
All right. Well, hey, listen, good luck with that. The book is called Killing Willis. It's Todd Bridges, written with Sarah Tomlinson. And, congratulations for getting your feet back on the ground and hanging on to your life and being able to enjoy it, Todd. It's one of the positive stories that we see out of the Hollywood scene. So congratulations on that, all right?
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
All right. Hey, good luck, and we'll look for some future shows and such out of you. And good luck, and have a great day.
Thank you. God bless.
Thank you. Bye-bye.